Hey guys, welcome back. In this episode, we will look about intent and intent filters in Android. So intent will facilitate communication between components in application. So intent is actually a messaging object with which you can request an action from another component. The another component may be an activity, a service, or a broadcast receiver. So with which you can request an action from them. So intent will facilitate even sending data to another component. Like you can use a class called bundle. With that you can add all the primitive data or the custom data and then send to another component in Android. So the three fundamental use cases of intent is actually starting an activity, starting a service, or delivering a broadcast. Suppose you have another activity in your application and you want to open that activity, you can use an intent and request that activity to open for you. At the same time, if you want to start a service, you can use the intent. And also if you want to broadcast to someone else a message where they have registered a broadcast receiver within themselves, then you can use this intent and send a broadcast using this intent. So now let us see about the types of intent. There are two types of intent. One is explicit intent and another one is implicit intent. Mostly explicit intent will be used within the app, where the app developer should be knowing the exact app's package name or the fully qualified component class name and 100% sure that the particular component is running in the app. So mostly it is used within an application to communicate between the components within the application. Now implicit intent is something, an action to be performed, but this app cannot do that. But another app which has registered with the system using the intent filter, where that can do the operation on behalf of this app, in that case the implicit intents will be used. So like for example, if you are having an app like a gallery app where a user want to share that app in a social media platform, that's it. You don't know like which social media app the user is going to share. So what you will be doing, you will be using a generic intent action and then send that intent to the Android system. At that point of time, the system will pick a chooser dialog from the bottom and it will show all the apps that can handle this intent. If suppose there is only one app in the system which can handle that intent, it will directly open it. If there are multiple applications which are capable to receive that action, intent action, then the system will give the options to the user where the user can pick any application that they may want to use. Let me create a new project and see the intent in action. So I'm using the same empty activity template. I will use the name as intents example and let it build the project. Yes, it has done building it. Okay, now we will see this example like creating a new activity, and from the main activity we will load the new activity. So first we will see the design of the main activity that we are right now having. We are having a hello world. Now let me change this text view to button. Okay, and we no need to worry about the layout as we are going to have only one button. So let me give the text as start new activity. So once the user press this button, a new activity should get loaded. Okay, this part is done. Now we need to create a new activity. As I already said, in the manifest we need to declare when we are going to create a new activity like this activity, and you need to give the name like second activity. So sorry, I'm doing the same thing again and again, and we have to refer the path, the complete path. If it is going to be in the same directory, we can give dot. Right now we don't have the second activity.java, so right now it is giving me the error. So here we need to go and right click, new, and then create the class like second activity. So this is one way of doing it. Now I will show you another easy way to do how to create the new activity. The easiest way to create a new activity is go to File, New, Activity, and select the activity you need. Now I will stick with the empty activity. It will give you a dialog. Let me change the name to second activity, and this is the layout name that is going to be associated with this activity, and let me click finish. Now all the boilerplate code that is required to create a new activity is done by the studio itself. Now you could see that the new activity second.xml is also been created here. Now our intent today is to start a new activity from another activity by using the intent class. So we will straight away go and do the same. So how we are going to do it? We have a button here. By clicking this button, we need to transition to the other activity. So first let me go to the second activity. Let me minimize this one, and let me do something here quickly so that we can see it. So let it be the relative layout for this episode. Okay, let me minimize this one. Okay, now let us have a text view here, and let me give match parent, then height as wrap content, and then we will have a text color also. Text is, let me give like second activity. Let us give some nice color for the background, but we will give it in the layout. This is pretty much small, so let me give the not font family, you have to give text size. Okay, let us try 46 dp. Yes, this looks bigger, and we can put it the gravity to center. Yes, remember, even though I put the gravity to the center, the text is not centered. Why? Because all the child will be rendered from the center. The child here is text view. As per the rule, the relative layout has rendered the text view from the center, but the text to be centered, we need to use the text property, text views property. That is I think align. Okay, we have to use it like this, text alignment. Yes, text alignment equal to center. Yes, we got it. Now let me put some background here. We have to put a background like this, and let me put a color accent here. Okay, we can see like it moved from one activity to another. Yeah, we've done this one. And the second activity, you can see the set content view method is having the layout. Now we are in main activity. Okay, the second activity has the set content view layout as activity second. Now our task is to move from this activity to the another when the user presses the button. Okay, now let me create a variable for the button that we have in our first activity. Okay, and then remember, you should not refer a button before you are setting the view. Suppose if you do it here, button equal to find view by id of r.id. We haven't given any name for our button, so first let us go and give the name for the button. ID. Let me give button, just a button. Okay, now let us see it here coming. Yes, it's coming. Okay, now if you do like this, you will definitely get the exception and your app will crash because your UI has not been inflated. Your UI has not been loaded into the activity until this code is getting executed. So you need to refer any UI once you have loaded the layout on the screen. So this is the proper procedure you need to follow when you are referring any UI elements from the layout. Okay, we have done this. Now let me write a listener for this. So set onClick listener. We need to pass the instance of the view dot onClick listener, or you can simply type control plus space. If you do like this, it will automatically give you press enter, and you need to override the abstract method inside the onClick listener. Here what we are going to do, we are going to launch the other activity. So how we are going to do? With the help of the intent. With only intent we can launch the other activity from here in Android. So let me create variable intent equal to new intent. Okay, then intent dot set class name or class, anything you can give. I'll give class. You need to first pass the context from where you are coming from where is your starting point. That is, you need to give this from this activity I'm coming, and then you need to pass the exact class where you want this intent to start the activity. So probably in one word you need to give the class name of the activity which you want to start, or the class name of the component. Maybe in a generic way we can say the class name of the component you like to start. So the class name of that is second activity dot class. Okay, we will get an error here. What is this error? This. Now this refers to onClick listener. See, this is a new instance has been created here. If you pass this parameter here, which will refer to the onClick listener, so you have to explicitly give the main activity dot this. Now yes, we have created the intent. Now how to start? Simply pass the intent in the start activity class. Okay, this is one way of doing. The other way of doing is, when creating the constructor itself, you could pass the context and the class like this. Now again, what it is saying is, this refers to onClick listener. You need to directly refer to the class from where you are coming from. Now this works. You can comment it out or remove it. I'm keeping it for your reference. Now you have created an intent and then you are going to start the activity. So let me execute this code and see what we are getting it. So let me check whether our emulator is running. Yes, it is running. Let me increase the size of the emulator. Yes, good. Let me keep it here. Yes, it has installed it. We got it. Now let me click, and we got the second activity running. Now let me click once again. Yes. Now you would have understand how to use the intent and pass the activity class and then start that particular activity using that intent. Now similar way we can send data from activity to another activity. The intent class is providing a method intent.put extra, and then you can give a key as the name. Let us see what are all the options it is giving. So it is giving us many options, all the primitive data types you can send. And if you have a custom data type, a class of your own, if you want to pass that object, you have to implement serializable in your class, and then you can send it. And Android has its own way of serializing it, that is called as parcelable. So you can send a parcelable also, and you can send arrays also. So, but if you would have noticed, the key is always string. The key for sending any extra is going to be a string. Let me create a static, private, static, final string, and then let us put and give a name extra is equal to name. Let me use it here and let me put it public. Okay, now this name extra is going to be the key, and let us give the name directly here, code with Karthi. Okay, now we will go to our second activity and we'll receive it here. How to receive it? We have the method called getIntent dot get the particular data type. String means a string. If it is an array, string array extra, string array list extra, string extra. If you have integer, you have to use get int extra like this. So let me use the get string extra as we are passing the string, and we need to use the same key, and the key we can refer it from main activity dot name extra. So it's going to give us the string, okay, name equal to getIntent dot get string extra, and then pass the key, and we will get that name. Now let us do one more thing here. I will give the ID as text, and let me reduce the size to 26 dp, and let us go back to the second activity, and here we will refer the text, so we can put it globally so that we can access in any method. Private text view, and then I will refer it here, text view equal to find view by id r.id.text. Okay, now we will set this text welcome space plus the name that we have received from the first activity, and let us execute this and see what is happening. Okay, it has built and it has installed successfully, but it is not launched. Why? Let me build it again. Okay, it is launched. Now let me click this one and see, we got the text from the first activity, the string that we are passing using the put extra, and then with the same key that what we have sent, with that we are extracting it here and then setting that value in the text view. One last thing I would like to cover here is the implicit intent. We won't specify the exact component name or class name. Instead, we will set the action. The OS will find the particular suitable application and then open that for us. So I have commented it out and I'm creating a new intent. Intent send intent equal to new intent. We're going to send some text message, but we are not going to point out any particular application, and let the system find us for us. So send intent dot put extra, and we will use okay, before adding the text, I have to set this action, right? So let me remove this and then first set the action. Send intent dot set action. The intent class is actually giving us many predefined action which the OS can serve, and many app developers would follow that. They will register the intent filter within themselves, and we can use that. So we'll use the action send, which is coming from the intent class. And now I'll put extra of the message. We can use the same intent dot, I think, extra text, and then we can give some text message here, and then we can set the type of this intent also, like that MIME type. We will like text plain like this. Now we have to start the activity and send intent. Now there is one more case that we need to actually look into here, is like, so we don't know which app is going to respond for us, or the OS is going to give us a app chooser where we need to select the app. Sometimes the app may not exist for this particular action. So it is always safe to check whether we have any app and then start the app. Otherwise, we may end up in crash. So let me put this in a condition. If condition, we are going to check a condition whether this particular action can be serviced by the OS. So what we are going to check is, or the way to check is like send intent dot resolve activity. This should not give us the null value. If it gives us the null value, which means there is no, which means like not equal to null. If it is not equal to null, we have to start the activity, and what it expects is we need to pass the package manager. From the activity, you can directly use the get package manager method. And yes, now let us see by running it. Okay, it is installed. Now let me click this one. Yes, we got all the apps that could handle this particular action. Because there is no one particular application, so we have many applications, and it's just giving us so that we can just open that app and we can do whatever we want. Okay, it's saying new message. Okay, that's so now you would have understand like how to use the implicit intent without passing the exact class name or the component name to serve our request. So with this, I am ending this episode. If you like my teaching, please subscribe to my channel. We will meet in the next episode. Till then, bye bye.